Distilling Company. Visit blackpowdercoffee.com or stop by and see us at 261 Rolling Hill Road in Mooresville. Black Powder Coffee.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Welcome to Community Centered, a show that features people in the community doing good things. Now, here are your hosts, Debbie O'Handley and Margi Kyle.
Welcome to Community Centered. I'm Margi Kyle. I'm missing my friend Debbie O'Handley. She's stuck in traffic, so we may have the pleasure of seeing her a little bit later. If not, we have a very informative hour for you today. It's something we all have to face at some point in time. So please stay tuned. We're going to be talking to Jonathan Kepner, Raymer Funeral Home, in just a minute. But I would love to have you call in and ask questions, and it's 844-STUDIO-4. You can listen on the radio at WSIC 105.9 FM, and I have it on all day, and I love listening to all the different programs. So we are here to put a smile on your face and bring you hope. Jonathan, I am just so thrilled to have you here today.
Well, thank you so much, Margie. I'm so glad to be here, and we appreciate you inviting us.
Well, I tried to get your dad here, and I finally said, well, I'm going to try for you.
He's a busy guy.
Yeah, he is. Now, you're a brand new dad again.
I am, yes.
How old is your baby?
She is 4 months old, Corey Jean.
Oh,
yep.
gosh.
She's 4 months old. She's a sweet girl. She does a smile and sleep. So we've been blessed with this second one. Yes. Yeah. Amen. Yep. Yeah.
Now, you have an interesting story. You've been in the industry, your family has, for 5 centuries?
5 generations. Yes.
Centuries.
Yes.
Oh, my.
Century. Now that would be impressive. Yeah. Yeah.
You've got some good fluid, I know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yep. Our business was established in 1845, and then my great-great-grandfather bought out a 2-generational family in the 1901 or 1902, and then I'm a 5th generation.
Wow.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And your wife, is that how you met her?
So it is, yep. My wife, Lindsay, she was a funeral director down in Florida, and then we brought her on board here around 2015. That's where we first met, and then a couple years later, we got married and a couple kids.
Oh, what a beautiful story.
It's fun, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't hear it too often. Yep.
Well, and I've known your mom and dad ever since they moved here. Your mom was on my Little Smiles board.
That's right, yep.
Yeah.
Awesome organization.
So
Yeah.
I've just really, really enjoyed getting to know you.
Yeah, yeah.
And keeping in touch with your parents.
Yeah, and I know they feel the same way.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
So, as you know, I recently went through a loss, my husband, and it just was such a comfort to have your dad and mom and you
Yeah.
there to support me and guide me and sort of tell me what I might do for my next step.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that I was so organized that when it happened, there was just no thinking, no panicking.
Yeah.
I just picked up the phone, made one phone call.
We
talked
take
to
it
your
from
dad.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he
Yep.
just said, you don't need to do anything else.
Yep. Yep. And that's yeah, and I know we're going to get into that, but that the importance of pre-planning, it just takes a lot of weight off your shoulders when the time
It
does
does.
happen.
It
does.
really does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, even my daughter-in-law said, why are you so relaxed? Because I was that organized.
Yeah.
And I wasn't panicking.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, you're a lot ahead, or a lot of steps ahead of a lot of folks. I think more and more people are starting to pre-plan, but that's, like I said, when you get into that pre-planning and when the time does happen, it takes off a huge burden.
It does. And I mean, Lee and I think it was our second or third date. He said, I can give you 18 years. And I laughed and I said, how do you know? And he said, well, because I've had open heart surgery and I've had this, I've had that. And but we've always talked so openly that it was so helpful to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, of course, we were with his mom when she died, and I did her funeral. And then we were with my mother and my dad when they died. So
Mhm.
I could see that it was so helpful that they were all so open and honest about talking freely about what they really wanted.
Yeah. And I think, going back to when you helped with his mom and your parents, I think that when you experience that, then you kind of get the full effect of, wow, there's a lot to do here.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize that,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I think when people go through experiences, when they have to plan a family member's funeral, it gets their mind thinking, well, maybe I should get my things in order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then we always went and changed our will every couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I would write to my kids and say, these are the changes and this is why.
Mm-hmm.
And of course they'd all call and say, what's wrong? What's wrong? I said, no, nothing's wrong. Everything's right.
Yep. Yep.
Because we want it organized so that I don't have to, or Lee didn't have to
Mm-hmm.
panic and, just worry about how I was going to deal with the unknown
Right.
because we both knew what to do
Yeah.
should one of us, whoever went first.
Yeah. Yeah. And that gets just us talking right now, gets my mind thinking because I do have a will, but now that I have two kids and a wife, I did not have that situation when I set it up. So I'll probably in the next couple weeks go and revise that a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to keep doing that
Yeah. Amen. Yes.
because your feelings do change.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they do.
Yep.
I mean, I always thought that I'd be cremated with Lee, but all of a sudden I went, no, that's just really not what I want.
Right.
It's what he wanted.
And yep, that's a nice thing when you know your spouse, when you know their wishes, even though it may not be the same, but there's a lot of ways to.
Well, but where we're going to be buried, though that urn can go in the casket.
Yep. Yep.
So
That's
we
becoming
we
more and
found
more.
that out, and when I said that to Lee, he said, "Perfect, done."
Yep. So he'll be with
Cross
you.
it off the list.
Yep. Yep. And that's
So-
becoming more common. We're seeing that.
Are you?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because one person may want that earth burial, and then
Yeah.
one their wishes are cremation. So that's a nice way to keep you together.
Well, it solved the problem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So again, I think the more open you can be with your partner
Oh, it's extremely important.
or parent.
Or parent, or just your family in general.
Yes.
I know it's because it's a hard conversation. It's not a conversation that you want to have at the dinner table every night, but
No,
it's a conversation that I believe is very important.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for Lee's mother, she she called me and she said, "Come in. I need to talk to you." And so she said, "Go grab my purse," which I did, and she wrote me a check for $10,000. She said, "I want you to have the biggest party you've ever had."
Oh, I love it. I love it. I wish I could have
want
met
you-
her.
Yes, I want you to cook whatever
Mm-hmm.
and have it a full open bar. I want music. I want dancing. And so my parents came, and my mother said the next day, "I want whatever
she
you
had?
cook for her. I want
Yep.
you to cook for me."
I
So
love
they
it.
both made it really easy for me
Oh, that's
as far
awesome.
as cooking and planning,
Yeah.
the celebration of life after. But again, when we come back, I'd love to carry on with this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some ways to get started if you really don't know how.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to answer those
Yeah.
questions.
So please stay tuned. Don't go away because this is hard to talk about, but it's so necessary. We'll see you in a minute.
Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle will return after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, a couple of hit-or-miss thunderstorms as we work our way into this evening. Not everybody gets one, but one or two could be a bit bumpy. Overnight low temperatures will stay mild and muggy, only dipping back into the upper 60s to near 70. For Wednesday, likely our driest day of the week. We're in the upper 80s, near 90, with an isolated pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Our better chance for storms for the week, though, comes heading into Thursday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like Brighter Smiles of Davidson.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Thursday is the second week for Langtree Live. This free concert series begins at 6:30 p.m. with music from the highway beginning at 7. Grab your chairs and we will see you at Langtree in Mooresville on Thursday. Friday night, Brookdale Village in Huntersville welcomes the Dukes and Smith Band. Their energetic performance of pop, rock, country, R&B, and beach music begins at 6 p.m. The Dukes and Smith Band, Friday at Live Under the Oaks in Brookdale. Friday in Old Town Cornelius, the second Friday Street Festival is happening at the Oak Street Mill. Live music powered by Waves Entertainment, food trucks, craft breweries, local artisans, and kids activities will be ready to go at 5 p.m. Gather your family and friends at the second Friday Street Festival in Old Town Cornelius. The Kane Center for the Arts welcomes Dust Bowl Revival this Friday. Doors open at 7 p.m. and their American Roots music where funk, folk, and soul meet begins at 8. Then on Saturday, Buckets and Boards brings their hilarious and high-energy comedy percussion show to the Kane Center for a 6 p.m. show. Dust Bowl Revival on Friday, Buckets and Boards on Saturday. For more information on these shows and many other programs, visit canearts.org. That's C-A-I-N arts.org. There is fun for everyone on Saturday at Mooresville's Race City Festival. There will be food trucks, an international food court, live music, dance performances, over 100 arts and crafts vendors, chainsaw art, kids activities, bounce houses, children's train, and more. We'll see you on Main Street and Broad Street this Saturday in Mooresville for the Race City Festival. And a happy Mother's Day on Sunday from everyone here at WSIC. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Call now to speak with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle at 844-STUDIO-4. It's community-centered on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back. I'm with Jonathan Kepner, Kepner Funeral Home, and we're talking about some very hard, uncomfortable things to talk about, but very necessary to do. And the earlier you do it, the better off I think you all will be. Jonathan, let's take a couple. How should they start this journey of talking about?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm sure that the conversation may come up at dinner or something like that. And I think step one is depending on the area you live in, just do a little bit of due diligence on the different funeral homes around your area.
Okay.
I always recommend stop in, meet the teams at the funeral homes. You'll get a comfort level of maybe
And I
where you
think
want to
that's
start
what
the
I
process.
did it with your mom and dad. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
first time I met them.
At the
I
the
just
funeral home.
popped in and
Okay.
said I just wanted to introduce myself
Yeah, yeah.
and know who you are.
Yeah, yeah, and that's I think that's one of the first steps is
Okay.
get comfortable with who's serving your community.
Yes.
And then you can sit down and just start the conversation, get to know each other a little bit and which direction you think you're going to go, and then basically we're just here to show you, well, here's all the different options you have, and then we kind of just figure out which road we're going to go down, and just help answer all the questions you have because there's going to be a lot of questions.
And
Mhm.
I think I did a group with your wife, Lindsay, where she had a group of people that wanted to
Oh
know,
yeah, yes. Hmm.
what are the steps you take, and that was very helpful.
Yeah, yeah. We go out into the community and we put on little seminars.
Yes.
We go to
Yeah.
restaurants. We have them at the funeral home, and we're here to just educate people and have really good Q&A sessions. And we get some funny questions. We get a lot of serious questions, and but the events are fantastic
They are.
a good way to learn which direction you may want to go with your
Yeah.
final wishes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I agree. I found it very beneficial. And then I think when Lee passed, you had put together a booklet of
Yeah.
what I needed to do, which I had already gone through everything
Right. Yeah.
and was done. But that was a gift too,
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
because you're not in your right mind.
No, no, you're not. And that's why, pre-planning is so important, I think, because we give folks checklists, and we give them ideas to go
Okay.
back and to really just figure out and talk to their family what they want to do.
So I think the first step you really feel is important is narrow it down to who you want to work with,
Yes. Yeah.
and
Yep.
then go and really sit and because I remember talking to we talked often to your mom and dad with little smiles when Tori died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I kind of learned the process then too, but it was very helpful.
Yeah.
And I would come home and say to Lee, I need an hour of your time when you really want to talk business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't just pounce on him when he walked
Right.
in the door.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your death,
Yeah.
And so that he could get into the frame, that mindset too,
Mm-hmm.
and to really be serious and talk about what do I want?
Yeah. Yeah.
What does she want?
Yep.
And how are we going to do this?
Yeah.
I mean, we had 10 kids together.
And that's where it gets tricky. That's where pre-planning really comes into play in a good way because, like we talked about before we got started, if you don't have anything set in place and you've got 10 kids, well, I think they wanted this. Well, I think they wanted that.
Yeah.
It's there
Yeah.
can be some discrepancies, if
That's
you will.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I just was thrilled that it went so smoothly that day.
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
mean,
what a
there was-
beautiful service and what a good job you did.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that was because I planned and I planned and I planned.
Yep.
And I shared with him.
Mm-hmm.
As I was saying to you, I brought in the computer and showed him my PowerPoint presentation I had done of all the pictures of him
The slideshow, yep.
and his life. And he went, where'd you get that picture? And I said, it doesn't matter where I
Yeah.
got it. It's here.
And how neat is that he got to see that?
That
you know?
Well, and I felt that.
Yeah,
And he did too.
yeah,
He,
Yeah.
that was really a blessing. And then I decided I better get my act together and make notes as to what I am going to say and what
Mhm.
I am going to do. And then I went back in and I shared that with him, and he loved it.
yep, yeah. And how special that is. And obviously, the more preparation you do, not really the easier it is, but the
But it was
smoother it can
easier.
go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was easier, and it wasn't the shock or me worrying about what's going to happen next.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and I will say, hospice is unbelievable.
They're angels on earth.
They
They truly are. They're very, very special people.
Yeah.
They're incredible. Yeah.
And it was funny because Lee's nurse used to come in and say, "I'm in love with your husband,"
Yeah.
and I know he loves me too. And
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
say, "It's okay, it's okay."
Yeah.
And
That's
they
funny.
just And then the minister, the second time he came, Lee was having a very, very bad day.
Mm-hmm.
And he just went right over Rick Phelps and put his
Right.
arm around Lee and held him for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And they both cried.
Oh, we work with Rick all the time, and he's a very special individual.
Yeah.
We think the world of him. Yeah.
But, see, he knew all that.
Yeah.
And he got to
Yep.
experience it.
Mm-hmm.
And just him knowing ahead of time that Rick was going to do, I gave Rick 10 minutes. I
Yeah,
said,
I
Don't you
remember
dare
that,
bend
yeah.
over that.
Yeah.
And he did a spectacular job. And
He
then
did.
Karen got and talked.
Mhm.
And, everybody that really wanted to talk got a chance, even my grandsons, which just blew me away.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what's neat about those celebration of life,
Yeah.
if you will. Families get to share their memories and to tell some funny stories. People will be laughing and crying, and that, in my opinion, that's what it's all about. Because you celebrated Lee.
Well, and I think the older you are,
Mm-hmm.
the more of a celebration you should have.
Yes. Yes.
I think the
Amen.
young ones, boy, I just can't imagine celebrating.
Yeah, that gets tough.
That would be the hardest part of your job.
It 100% is, and without my faith, that I don't know if I'll be able to do what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what keeps me grounded.
Wow.
Yeah,
I commend you for being able to sit here with a smile on your face and
Yeah.
say you love what you're doing.
yeah, yeah.
Well, you're
well,
helping so many people.
Yeah, yeah. It really is. It's a way to serve your community.
It
It
is.
really is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first step is find out who you want to work with.
Yeah. Yep.
And go in and see what they have to offer as far
Mhm.
as classes, information.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
You need to have a book. You have
Yes.
a booklet.
We have a great it's a pre-planning guide
Yeah.
for your final wishes, and
Yeah.
it has everything from what you want for your funerals, You can list out your insurance policies, bank account, all the important information that
Yeah.
your family's going to need at the time of your passing.
Okay.
But yeah, in most funeral homes, they have great little packets and information for you to take. But I recommend just ask all the questions you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Get it out there, and then you'll start to learn and get educated on all the different options you have.
And I know we went in to see your dad
Oh,
the
yeah,
day after,
yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
he had a whole list of what I hadn't done
Mm-hmm.
and things to do, and he just made it so easy.
Yep. That is our goal. We
And
want to
he
make it
made
as
it
seamless and
so
as smooth as
easy. Yeah.
possible. Yeah.
And I had said to him, I went and bought an urn because
Yeah.
I was told that you didn't have any pretty ones. Well, I looked at Mitzi looked down, my daughter, and went, "Oh, Mom, you got to have that one."
Yeah.
It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's we're seeing more and more folks provide their own urns, whether it's
Yeah.
handcrafted or they get it on Amazon. But obviously, the funeral homes are going to have a wide variety of
Yeah.
different types of
Yeah.
urns. Yeah. So,
So right down to the end, you made it very, very pleasant
wow, that's our goal, and
and
that's
and easy. And of course, your mom and dad used to come over and have a cocktail with us.
oh, that's what I've heard. Yeah, I need to get the invite so I can.
Anytime the door's open.
All right.
But and that was Lee loved that.
Yeah, that makes it special.
It did.
You know. Yeah.
And all Lee kept saying to your dad was, "Take care of her.
Yep.
Take care of her.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that everything goes smoothly for her." And boy, it did.
Yeah.
It did.
That's great. Yeah, that's.
It doesn't always.
No, it doesn't. That's there's a lot of different situations out there that we've run into, but most of the time we can smooth it out, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the hardest thing must be when the families start arguing.
Yeah, that makes it challenging.
Yeah.
But like I said, 99% of the time people put their differences aside. At least, during the celebration or during the service,
Okay.
they can put their differences
Yeah.
aside. Sometimes it's not the case.
Ah.
We've had to call the police a couple times, and
Oh my gosh.
oh yeah, we've had a lot of different scenarios. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
But that's part of it. A lot of emotions are running, and
Yes,
it's
they are.
yeah. So it makes it, especially with a tragic situation, and
Well, and I
things
think
like that.
that's the key.
Mhm.
When it is a celebration of life, like Lee's was,
Yeah, right, yeah,
it makes such a difference.
it does. You're right.
But I think the accidents and sudden deaths are got to be awful.
Yeah, they can be brutal. Yeah, but once again, that's where my faith comes in, and that's but yeah, that can be tough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But, we're human. Funeral directors are human, so they
That's
carry
right.
we carry emotions with the family. We cry with families. We laugh with families.
Yeah.
It is. It's real.
It is.
So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and your mom and dad have done several funerals for Little Smiles, and that's been
Incredible organization.
well, thank you.
Yeah.
But they made it so much easier,
Yeah.
and that's the key.
Well, that is the key. Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick little break,
Okay.
and we'll regroup our thoughts and come on back with just a couple more tips.
That sounds good.
All righty.
All right.
Stay with us.
More informative discussion about people and groups doing good in our community coming up. It's Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on WSIC.
Well, a couple of hit-or-miss thunderstorms as we work our way into this evening. Not everybody gets one, but one or two could be a bit bumpy. Overnight low temperatures will stay mild and muggy, only dipping back into the upper 60s to near 70. For Wednesday, likely our driest day of the week. We're in the upper 80s, near 90, with an isolated pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Our better chance for storms for the week, though, comes heading into Thursday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had leaf filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Are you in constant pain, under constant stress? Just need a moment away? Repeat after me. Serenity Now Massage Therapy. SerenityNowMassageandWellness.com with locations in Mooresville and Cornelius.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Grocery store delivery giant Instacart is teaming up with restaurant delivery service Uber Eats. They're both going to take on DoorDash. In just a few weeks, Instacart users will be able to order from hundreds of thousands of restaurants nationwide using an Uber Eats interface right on the Instacart app. National security versus First Amendment rights to free speech. TikTok and its Chinese owner ByteDance filing a lawsuit today challenging the constitutionality of a new federal law that requires either a sale of TikTok to a U.S. company by January or the app will be banned on U.S. app stores. On Wall Street, stocks not moving a whole lot today, losing some slight early gains. Right now, the Dow, the Nasdaq, and the S&P all down a fraction. And thanks to a new sponsorship deal, college football's annual Arizona Bowl on December 28th this year will be officially known as the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Call 844-STUDIO-4 now to join the community-centered discussion with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Back, and I'm thrilled to be talking about a very difficult subject with such a fine young man who has a beautiful family. And beautiful friends of mine as well. Jonathan Kepner, thank you for doing this with me.
Oh, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, we're going to talk in the last 15 minutes. We have a little surprise for you. So, right now, let's just talk about some of the hard things to talk about again.
Yeah.
When you're pre-planning.
Yeah. So when you're pre-planning, some people know this, others don't, but there are a couple of different options. Folks come in, they get all their information, get all their questions answered, and then you do have the option. Some people do like to prepay for their funeral services.
Yeah.
There are some benefits to that. Our firm, I can speak for, it does lock in the cost for services and merchandise. So basically, it's an inflation-proof contract. Your funds are held in an insurance account. And then basically at the time of your passing, the funeral home or our firm would make claim on that policy with the insurance company.
I think I just took off a ring and put it in front of your dad.
Yeah, I think that works too. Yeah. Yeah. But that is a very big benefit when you talk about the inflation.
Well, and you should talk about that right up front too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't have to. You can. Some people just get all their information written down. We start a file. We call it information only, and then we know exactly what their wishes
Yeah.
are. It's just written down,
Yeah.
which is the most important thing.
Well, you don't need surprises at that point.
No, you don't. You don't. And sometimes people think there are surprises, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, there
Yeah.
always are going to be.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can't help that.
Right.
But
Yeah. Yeah, another common question people get if they do decide to go down that route of pre-funding, well, what if I move away? What if I move to the beach or back to where I'm from or wherever? It is 100% transferable. So what we do is we help the family find a firm to wherever they're moving to. And 9 times out of 10, the funeral home will accept or honor their policy that they have with our funeral home. So you can transfer it. And then also the state of North Carolina has record of it, so they know that you have a funded pre-arrangement with the certain funeral home that you select. So there are a lot of nice benefits to doing that if you choose to do that.
okay.
Hmm
So again, that's another reason why it's so important to choose who you're going to work with,
Yes,
and
yes,
how they run their business.
that's exactly right. Yeah, because
Yeah.
every firm's different, every funeral home's different. That's why I think going back to step one, to do your due diligence and go meet who you want to serve your family.
That's right.
Hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so important.
Hmm Agreed.
Yeah. Because you don't know how you're going to feel at that time.
No, you don't. You don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of emotions, and
Well, and I kept saying to your dad, well, I'm fine right now, but give me 10 minutes. I don't know.
yep. And it comes in waves.
Yeah.
That's that grieving process, and
Yeah.
everybody grieves differently. That's what I've learned
Yeah.
over the years. It's some people can hold on, and stay strong, if you will, throughout the whole service.
Yeah.
Then they break down, and then some people break down in the beginning, and everybody grieves different. The most important thing is to let your body do what it needs to do.
Well, and I just was so grateful that I had it taped.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yep. That's become very common. Live
I
stream,
watch
tape.
that
Hmm
more than you'll ever know because it gives me such comfort.
It does. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
a
look
nice
back
thing.
at it and I thought, boy, we all did a good job for
Oh,
him.
we did fantastic.
Yeah.
And but yeah, the technology. One of the good things about
Yes.
technology, it's we do a lot of live stream services nowadays. So
Yes.
people that can't travel in, it's still nice they can log on.
And
And
that's what a lot of our friends did.
yeah, yeah. And you had a large crowd there too. So
I know.
there was
Yeah.
a long line. I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah,
It was just a good celebration.
it was. Yeah,
But I think what made it that way was because we were so organized.
yeah, yeah. That's
And the guidance that you all gave us, right down to when your dad said, you have a choice if you want to see him
mhm.
one more time or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. I always, depending on the circumstances, I do encourage families to see them if they're on the fence. It's just a nice little farewell. We call it the final farewell
Yeah.
prior to cremation in most circumstances,
Yes.
or burial. Sometimes we do closed casket services, so
Yeah.
we encourage the family to, if they're on the fence, to go ahead and have that final farewell with their
Yeah.
loved one. Yeah,
I had spent a lot of time with him right after he passed, so
yeah,
I was sorry that I did go.
yeah, yeah.
But, it didn't bother me, but I just thought, I just wish I had that memory, the last
Yeah,
memory.
yeah, yeah.
But it was beautiful.
Yep.
It just was beautiful.
And
And classic.
yeah, yeah. Amen. And
Yeah.
that's such a blessing you were able to be there, by his side the whole
Oh, yeah.
time, and
Yeah.
it's a blessing.
It really
So
was.
yeah, yeah.
Because I thought to myself, I'm not sure how I'm going to react
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know.
You don't know until
Yeah.
you're in the
Yeah.
situation. You're exactly right.
So, but I've
Yeah.
heard so many people, and Lee kept saying to me, I refuse to go until your daughter gets here.
Mm-hmm.
She got there at 10 o'clock and he was gone by 10 after 10.
Wow. Yeah. We hear stories like that all
Yeah,
the time.
I know.
Yep.
The more I talk to people, the more I do too.
Yep. Yep.
Because he waited for the right time
Mm-hmm.
for
Yep.
me, he
Yep.
thought.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whether they're waiting on someone to get in town, like
That's
you
right.
said, or they're
Yeah.
waiting for maybe their family to step out or something like that.
Yes.
We hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but I guess the earlier you start, as we've said several times, the better off you'll be.
Yeah.
not to kill an old horse, but it really does make a difference because you're not sitting there when it happens thinking, what do I do next?
Yeah. Yeah, and just to give you an example, I'll sit down with a family that has everything in order. Like for what you had everything in order. You may be there less than an hour, versus a family if they don't have anything planned, they don't even know what they want to do. I've been with families for over 3-4 hours before,
Wow.
and that's
And that's
exhausting
the
for
last
them.
thing you need.
Well, and that's what we're there for, but that is very exhausting for the family because I just don't think they realize there's so many different things we have to go over to make sure that we are serving them
Yeah.
the way they want to be served for their final wishes
Yeah.
for their loved one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it made life so much easier to move forward.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you're always going to have your sad times and your hard times, but I wasn't worried
Right. Right. And
because
that's.
everything was in writing.
Mm-hmm.
I knew how much it was going to cost.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Your dad wouldn't take my ring.
Yeah. That's important.
It is.
And nowadays it's very
Well,
important.
and even Lee said to me, so he got up and he wrote me a check. He said, here,
Yeah.
I don't want you worrying about anything.
Yeah.
And it was good that he kind of had an idea too.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're a very highly regulated industry.
Yeah.
So when cost does come up, sometimes people are very surprised. It's always the talk or the question that we get. Well, how much does this cost? How much does it?
Yeah.
So that's a great point. Get in to the funeral home
Yeah.
and see what it's going to cost for
That's
your
right.
final wishes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, with inflation nowadays, who knows
You
in the
don't
future?
know.
You don't know. So it's that's an important factor
It
that
is.
goes into all this. Mhm.
It is. But the more that you have planned, the easier it is.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Because I know even that night we went out for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said, Mitzi said, what are we going to do for dinner? And I said, we're going to go out.
Yep.
I hadn't been out for months
Yeah.
and there was nothing left to do.
Yep.
And what a good feeling that was.
Mm-hmm. And that's very common nowadays. Folks are doing either receptions or the family will go out to a restaurant after the services, and it's kind of like that final little conclusion of the service. Yeah.
Well, Lee was an old hockey player, so we had chicken wings and beer.
Oh, I love it. He was an athlete. Yep. I remember my dad was telling me stories about Lee that Lee told him, and just because he played professional hockey for how many years?
Oh, well, he played up until he was almost 80.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh, yeah. With the pictures, I remember seeing him all dressed up, and that's incredible.
Yeah. And my grandson told the story when he came when he was about 13. And we went to one of Lee's hockey games the first night he got there. And he said, does Grandpa Lee ever get in a fight? And I said, oh, no, he's a gentleman. 2 minutes into the game, he's in a fight.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's awesome. But that was exciting.
For him.
Yeah, for him. And the grandson, yeah.
I wasn't terribly impressed, but anyway. So when we're going to take a break in a minute,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to talk about your new little venture.
New little venture, yeah.
That's just going to keep you entertained and give you some fun in life to do.
Yeah.
Because I think you've got a mix.
Yeah, nowadays you really
Your dad's
do.
out there playing golf today.
Yeah, I know it.
And I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Because he's got to have a release.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been a wantrepreneur or entrepreneur, if you will. We call it wantrepreneur because I really haven't done much but the funeral business. But yeah, we'll get into that for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So don't go away. We've saved the best for last.
There's more Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on the way from 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, a couple of hit-or-miss thunderstorms as we work our way into this evening. Not everybody gets one, but one or two could be a bit bumpy. Overnight low temperatures will stay mild and muggy, only dipping back into the upper 60s to near 70. For Wednesday, likely our driest day of the week. We're in the upper 80s, near 90, with an isolated pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Our better chance for storms for the week, though, comes heading into Thursday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Thursday is the second week for Langtree Live. This free concert series begins at 6:30 p.m. with music from the highway beginning at 7. Grab your chairs and we will see you at Langtree in Mooresville on Thursday. Friday night, Brookdale Village in Huntersville welcomes the Dukes and Smith Band. Their energetic performance of pop, rock, country, R&B, and beach music begins at 6 p.m. The Dukes and Smith Band, Friday at Live Under the Oaks in Brookdale. Friday in Old Town Cornelius, the second Friday Street Festival is happening at the Oak Street Mill. Live music powered by Waves Entertainment, food trucks, craft breweries, local artisans, and kids activities will be ready to go at 5 p.m. Gather your family and friends at the second Friday Street Festival in Old Town Cornelius. The Kane Center for the Arts welcomes Dust Bowl Revival this Friday. Doors open at 7 p.m. and their American Roots music where funk, folk, and soul meet begins at 8. Then on Saturday, Buckets and Boards brings their hilarious and high-energy comedy percussion show to the Kane Center for a 6 p.m. show. Dust Bowl Revival on Friday, Buckets and Boards on Saturday. For more information on these shows and many other programs, visit canearts.org. That's C-A-I-N arts.org. There is fun for everyone on Saturday at Mooresville's Race City Festival. There will be food trucks, an international food court, live music, dance performances, over 100 arts and crafts vendors, chainsaw art, kids activities, bounce houses, children's train, and more. We'll see you on Main Street and Broad Street this Saturday in Mooresville for the Race City Festival. And a happy Mother's Day on Sunday from everyone here at WSIC. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Now, more community-centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. Debbie, we missed you today, but I'm sure she'll be back next week. And next week, we're going to be talking to Debbie Amiot about traveling and vacations. So that will be fun, too. But we're here now with Jonathan Kepner. And tell us about your exciting news. I'm just blown away with what you're going to do.
Yeah, so it's been about a year. I've been doing a little bit of research, and I decided, my best friend and I, I'm originally from West Virginia, and he's still up there. We decided we're going to open up a pizza shop.
What fun.
Yeah, so it's a pizza franchise. It's called Romeo's Pizza. They're based out of Medina, Ohio.
Oh my gosh.
We're
What does Ohio know about pizza?
it's pretty good. I'll let you find out.
I wanna
Yeah,
find out, yeah.
absolutely. We're trying to. They're a newer franchise, if you will. They're close to around 70 stores, but they're starting to come down the East Coast. And we're helping them bridge the gap from the Raleigh area down to the Greenville, South
Okay,
Carolina. So
yeah.
they really want to hit the Charlotte market. So we're glad we connected with them. But yeah, we're opening up in Davidson. We got a great location there. It used to be the Davidson Chocolate Company.
Ooh.
So it's a great location
Well,
and great
and
pizza.
chocolate is good.
Well, we could add that in there too. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to branch out a little bit. I've always been, like I said, a entrepreneur, if you will.
Oh, that's a good
So
word.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
so I'm kind of making some dreams come true, which I'm really excited about. Yeah.
And isn't it fortunate that you have a partner that encourages you to do that?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That's very important, or I wouldn't be doing it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And your kids are going to thank you.
I hope so.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Pizza every day.
Pizza
Mom,
every day.
Dad.
Yeah. Yeah, we better not get on that track. But yeah, hopefully they'll get a kick out of it and
Yeah.
get to work there maybe. And
Yeah, I think
yeah.
so too. I think that's great experience for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now you
So
don't, it's not a dine in.
it's not. It's a pickup delivery model, and so we're gonna hopefully partner with a lot of schools in the area and organizations,
Okay.
businesses.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a thing called Pizza Friday. So every Friday
Oh,
we'll
wow.
feature one of our pizzas and have special guests. I'll have you on there.
Oh, I'd love it.
Yep. So we'll do a little video and
Yeah.
let you help us make the pizza,
Oh,
and
what
it's
fun.
it's gonna be fun. So, but yeah, just something a little
Just
different
another
than
way to bring the community together.
Amen through pizza. Because who doesn't,
That's
who
right.
doesn't like pizza? We
I
have
mean,
gluten-free
you
and all
could
that.
have even a nonprofit day.
Yes. Oh, well, yeah, we're going to get heavy into that as well.
Yeah.
That's going to be
And
great.
even a teen day for kids that want to learn and
Yes.
experience how to run a business.
How to run a business? Absolutely. How to make pizza. We're going to try and get in with Davidson College. If
Yeah,
they have a business
absolutely.
class or something, they
Yes.
want to come and see how you manage how the back end works, the financial end, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a great
Yeah.
opportunity.
Those are our goals. So we're gonna get out and get into the community there in Davidson. We're really looking forward to it.
Oh, I think so too. I think
Yeah.
that's fabulous.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that
So,
idea.
yeah.
So is that your release?
Yeah, yeah. I've always done little side hustles, if you will, here and there, little side gigs, some network marketing, and I've just done all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
on the side because I think that's part of my release. That and the gym, that's what keeps my mind pretty clear to go in and serve the families the way they need to be served at the funeral home.
So
So
your mom plays golf too, doesn't
she
she?
does, yeah.
Okay.
She's good. She's
She is good.
yeah.
She's played in our tournaments all the
Oh
time.
yeah, she's a horse on a scramble team. She's good.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And Lindsay has the two kids, so she doesn't have time for a major personal release.
no, she we do a little bit of traveling. She likes to get out and travel and try new restaurants and things like that.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
but so she likes to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the kids are an escape too because you got to really concentrate on them.
Right. Yeah. 2.5 and 4 months is
Yeah.
they've got us pretty busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Oh, that's
so
fun. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's exciting. So when is it opening?
So we're hoping to have our grand opening sometime in the early July time.
Well, that's
So
coming
we're,
up.
depending on inspections, things like that, the build out should be done mid-June, and we'll have a little bit of training, soft opening, and then really hit the ground running in July.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that'll be fun.
It's going to. Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah. Yeah, I hope my dad doesn't think I'm leaving the funeral industry because I'm not. That's
Good.
that's
Good.
my
Yeah.
main thing. This is more of a fun investment opportunity. We saw an opportunity in this, so yeah. But like you said, it's more of a release and
That's
something
right.
different.
Well,
Yeah,
no matter what people are doing today, it's so important to have that release.
it is. It
Yeah.
is. Yes.
COVID did some really strange things to us.
You're telling me. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah.
It did. So I think it's important, and
I think we've forgotten our manners
Yep.
and we've forgotten a lot of things, and
Yeah.
we need to get back to
yeah.
getting out there and helping others.
Yep. Exactly.
And I've said to a couple of my clients who were feeling sorry for themselves, come with me to the hospital and let's go have a birthday party for this child who may not live.
Mm-hmm. That puts things into
It does.
perspective really
It
quickly.
does.
It does. Yep.
Because you can't be down when you're dealing with that.
No, you're right. Yeah, do something like that. Go to a senior living home.
Oh my
Just to
gosh.
have conversations
Yeah,
with
come
people.
over and clean my house.
Yeah, yeah. There's all kinds of things
I'm
you
a
can
senior now.
do. Yeah, I don't believe it.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't feel it.
Yeah.
But I'm fortunate because I know a lot of people do,
Yeah.
and a lot of people hurting. So
Mm-hmm.
if you can open up a door to bring somebody joy, to bring those kids joy,
Oh,
and
it's what it's all about.
and information, it is what it's all about.
It is. It is.
Yeah. Now, how do people get a hold of you?
So a couple different ways. They can go to our website at Kepner, which is KEPNER FH, as in funeralhome.com.
Okay.
They can contact us. We have a little chat box that pops up that you can message us directly on the website. You can always call the funeral home, 704-892-9669, or email us at raymerfh@bellsouth.net.
Now, you have just opened up a new place in Denver,
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's our Life Tribute Center. So it's not a full service funeral home, but it is a place where we meet with a lot of folks in the
Okay.
Lincoln County area that want to pre-plan. So it's a really nice living room setting, but it's more for just making arrangements with family. The families we serve in Lincoln County, so they don't have to hit that traffic on
Yeah,
73,
that's
and
right.
so it makes it a little more convenient for them. But we love that area. Denver's great and it's booming, as we
It
all
is.
know. But it's a place to come, very comfortable setting, like I said, just to talk about arrangements. with families.
Okay, and that's on?
So it's on Highway 16.
Yeah.
And it's actually in the same parking lot as Safari Miles. That's
I know where that is.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's restaurant's been there forever.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, great
What a
family that owns
spot.
that. Oh, it's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just a small, little, probably 2,000 square foot planning center, but
Well, you don't need much.
you don't. No, you don't. And it's a great place to meet families out there to drop off death certificates or pick up
Yes.
urns, things like that, just so they don't have to make that trek over
That's
to,
right.
to Huntersville.
Yeah.
hmm
And
Yeah.
what's the phone number there?
It's the same. It's the 704-892-9669.
Because I saw on the website it had a different number. But
Yeah, we did it first, and then
Okay.
we got into,
just call the main number. and
just call
that's
the
it.
main
Yeah.
number. Yep.
Okay.
So we answer at Raymer-Kepner Funeral Home and Life Tribute Center.
How many people do you have working with you now?
So we have, let's see, we've got 5 full-time team members, and 2 of our licensed directors, 2 of our girls are, they share time. So one of them, they're both licensed funeral directors, and one of them works 2 days, one of them works 3 days a week, and they kind of switch back and forth.
And that is so smart, so they won't burn out.
Right, exactly. And they're arrangers, so they sit down with our families. They're we are so blessed to have them, and they're just very good at what they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
I've been impressed, but I've always gone right to the top.
Well, yeah, you have that. You and John have that relationship, so yeah, you go to the big dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but even pre-planning, just the kind of urn you want or the what you
Casket
want,
selection,
casket selection.
cemetery. A lot of
Yeah.
people, not a lot of people are from here. It's a very transit area.
That's right.
So we give folks a list of cemeteries. Once again, I recommend driving through, get a feel where you want to be.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
yep.
absolutely.
And that's with cremation. We have a lot of folks that we serve. They like to bury their urn or place their urn in what's called a columbarium, which is the above ground.
Yeah.
That's very common because that gives their family. It allows them to go somewhere to visit, to memorialize their loved one.
Yeah. Well, and that was one thing that kind of spooked me out was having Lee in the house.
Yeah.
But now it's just a blessing.
Yeah.
It's just a very wonderful comfort.
Yeah. And everyone's different, but we do have a lot of people that do that as well.
Yeah, because when your dad and mom brought him in, I went, okay, put him, and then your dad said, why are you putting him near the silver tea service? He was a hockey player. Put him over in the bar.
Yeah, that'd be a great spot for him. Yeah.
And all of a sudden I thought, come on.
Yeah.
This is a gift.
Yeah. Amen.
And you have to think of it that way.
Yep. You're exactly right.
Yeah. It's attitude.
Amen. Every day.
Anything else you want to share within the last minute?
No. I just, once again, I appreciate you having me on, and I think it is important. Just if I could leave one tip, get something written down.
Yes.
At least so your family knows what your wishes are. It's going to take a huge weight off your shoulders and your family's shoulders.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much.
Well, you're going to make a lot of lives much easier.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's our goal. That's what we
right.
do.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you want to call in next week, please do. We welcome phone calls, emails, call Bill. As I said, we will be here next Tuesday, community-centered, and I hope Debbie will be back with us. Have a great week, and thank you so much. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Serving you better than ever.